Okay, I've got a feeling I'm going to have to swear in this video, because I have had enough of what I think we can safely call continuous improvement as applied to graphic user interface design. Okay? Graphic user interface design peaked 25 years ago. And unfortunately, at the same time as it was peaking, another animal was rearing its ugly head, and it was continuous improvement. Continuous improvement is a manufacturing principle whereby you seek to look at what's existing in your product or your manufacturing processes and procedures and just see what you could do to improve it. Now, in a manufacturing environment, it's applicable, but in graphical user interface design, it is a diabolical disaster because it's out of control. And what's happened is there are rafts of people who are leaving college or university or whatever, who are engaged in software or user interface design, who are like, oh, we need to tweak it, oh, we need to mess with it, oh, we need to improve it. And they've taken the user experience from fine, perfectly fine, to a diabolical mess of unnecessary ingenuity. Okay? I try to use websites and programs, and what they do is they have, I presume they have committee meetings, probably daily, probably hourly, wherein these morons sit and say, okay, right, the software's been fine for 20 years, okay, yeah, so how can we mess it up? Maybe I'm not going to swear in this. I felt like I was going to swear, but maybe I can do it without swearing. How can we mess it up? Could have used a different word for that, but fine. And they're sitting there like, okay, that's worked fine for 20 years. No one's complained about it, it's perfectly fine. But what can we do to improve it? And the principle that they are ignoring here is, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. And you might think that's a little bit archaic. Oh, it's old school, but it's gold. It's so true. The problem is, you've got, I don't know, millions of people who have been instructed in the principles of continuous improvement, and they're applying it to graphical user interface design, and everyone's trying to use graphical user interfaces, and they're all changing all the time. There's no standardization. It's a mess. It's a maelstrom of lunacy and unnecessary ingenuity. I don't need my cursor to do anything other than to be a little arrow on the screen, just like it was 30 years ago. Nothing needs to be improved or changed in user interface design. Nothing. When I see a website that's trying to ram stuff into my eyeballs, I go to its competitor, because I don't need that invasion into my visual space. Nobody does. Nobody wants it. Everybody hated pop-ups, and now all websites seem to be all they seem to be is just a monolithic pop-up machine. And that's because these people won't stop. What is it going to take to stop them? Because all I want to do is use the internet just like it was when it was, I don't know, a decade after it had begun to be usable or whatever. And now I can barely use it. I want to take my laptop and snap it into two pieces and throw it out the window every time I use the internet. And you know what? I used to use the internet and it was wonderful. I would fly around the internet doing what I wanted to do, but no, the moron brigade have gotten involved and they've completely stuffed it. They have ruined the internet and they've ruined software design. Things, simple things that I used to rely on are gone because some committee meeting was like, well, okay, it used to be there, it was working fine, and well, you know what, let's just get rid of it. We've got something else to put in place of it. But it was fine. Well, well, we've got all these people who are trained to improve things, so we must listen to what they say. And all of a sudden, what they say becomes the new thing, and it's useless. I can't stand it. It extends into the outside world as well. But I think I'll just stay in this video talking about how it's affecting user interface design. Now, I don't have an answer for this at the moment. A squad has to be set up, or some sort of, I don't know, some sort of reference unit has to be established. I would like it in this country to begin with, United Kingdom. That would be great, to police this nonsense, because the internet's great in terms of freedom, but the problem is it's being corrupted each and every day. And it's like, imagine if you bought a car and it was just someone else decided to change the function of it every 5 minutes. Eventually you would hunt that person down and vigorously shake them and tell them, don't ever do that again. I mean, this has to stop, and I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to stop it without having a position of strong influence in that industry or in governance. I don't know how we can stop this happening. I'd like to think that somehow the message can get out to these morons that they're not needed, that nothing at all needs to be changed or improved in user interface experience ever at all. Nothing. I swear, there is not one single thing that is an improvement in my user experience that's emerged in the last 30 years. Nothing. How can an industry have peaked, yet they're still training people to try to change it? Oh yeah, it must be changeable, it must be improvable. Sometimes it's not. Okay? Cars have 4 wheels. We have established that 4 wheels is probably the best number of wheels, considering the contraptions that we have, which are cars at the moment. It's been pretty good for about 100 years, or maybe more. Even horses and carts. The carts, when we were using horses and carts, the carts had 4 wheels. But these guys, if they were sat in a room with a horse and cart, they would say, right, first of all, we need 5,000 horses attached to this one cart, and the cart must have 5.5 wheels, just because we can. These people are out of control and they are ruining user experience. Yet there is now a science of user experience, and the entire science is unnecessary. It is that they're obsessed with trying to fix something that's already perfected. Why? We need to apply these people to something rational. For this that I'm talking about is irrational. The irrational messing with things. It's every day. Every day your software that you're using is updated and changed and messed around with, and some jerk has been given a pay rise because they've instituted this brand new thing that no one cares about and no one uses and no one wants. The whole industry is superfluous. We have to get rid of continuous improvement from user interface design, and unfortunately there is an army of morons who have been trained to do the opposite, marching towards user interface design as we speak. And what's going to happen is when they hit the industry, they're going to be sat there going, oh, what do I do? And to justify their existence, they're going to mess with things that we're using. When is sense going to return to industry? And I would argue it's when you get rid of feminism and when you get rid of liberalism, because those two isms are destroying sensible decision making in the world. As a side note, someone told me today that a person has taken a turkey onto a jet plane as a comfort animal. Same problem.